everyone, Audrey here with At Home with Audrey. Today I'm going to show you how to make vegetables for St. Patrick's Day. I'm still on my vegan kick, feeling good. My cholesterol's going down, so it's turning out really well. So if you're not vegan, this is just a really good way to cook your vegetables for St. Patrick's Day. If you are, I'm just using this as a whole meal. And I have a head of cabbage, some Yukon Gold potatoes, carrots that I already peeled, and a head of garlic. I melted 4 tablespoons of vegan butter. I have olive oil, salt, pepper, and some onion powder. And I'm gonna show you how I do this. So I start with the potatoes and I just cut the ends off. And I guess you don't have to, but it makes them like sear better. And then I cut them like an inch thick or so. That one has a little bruise on it. Start putting them in my pan. You can do this on a baking sheet or a casserole dish or just whatever you have. And then I'm taking a head of cabbage and I'm only going to use half. I'm going to cut it in half and then quarter it. And I'm leaving the core in. I'm not going to cut that out. You want to leave that in there. And then these carrots, like I said, are already peeled. I'm just going to cut the ends off. And then when I cut these, I'm going to cut them at a really big diagonal to kind of give a more flat space. That one was a little thick, and same, do like the 1 inch thing. Okay. And put all this in the pan. And you want to get everything as flat as you can. The carrots don't matter as much, but your potatoes you want to get as flat as you can. And then I have my butter here. I'm going to get my garlic press and peel this and put in, I don't know, 2 or 3 little cloves of garlic into the butter. Okay, so I have 4 tablespoons of vegan butter already melted. If you're not vegan, feel free to use regular butter. I'm also gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Definitely, if you're using not vegan butter, normal butter, add olive oil. And if you don't wanna use butter, you can use all oil, whatever floats your boat. You do you. Okay, so I have that. I'm gonna press in my 3 cloves of garlic. Okay. And then I have about a teaspoon of onion powder that I'm gonna put in. Fresh ground pepper. Just use for as much pepper as you want. I put some in the butter mixture and then I also sprinkle or grind some over the top before it goes in the oven. And then I do about a teaspoon of sea salt or kosher salt in here. Mix this all up. Should probably use a fork, but this will work. Let me get, oh, that's the garlic in there. Okay. Now I'm going to do the cabbage first. And I just pour this kind of into the cabbage leaves. And then you can put some over the back of the cabbage and then just pour the rest all over everything. And then I just get in there with my hands because there's all like the salt, and just kind of mix it all over everything. Make sure it's coated. I like want to make sure I get the whole pan coated in this. And there's a bunch down here. Just make sure you get it all covered and coated. So you want to make sure that your potatoes and your cabbage are flat to the bottom of the pan. I don't worry so much about the carrots. They don't need to get, we're trying to get the bottom of the potatoes caramelized and brown. The carrots don't need as much, like they taste great no matter what, but the potatoes taste even better when they're flat. So I have this all in the pan, and I have my oven preheated to 450, and I am going to put them in the oven for 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna flip them over for another 15 minutes. Then I add a cup of vegetable broth and cook until they're done. And just put them in on the middle rack. The timer just went off. So I'm going to take these out and flip them. I'm gonna flip everything in here. They don't get brown the first time really, but that's okay. You also flip your cabbage. That's why you leave the core on. If you leave the core on, you're not gonna be able to flip them. There you go. Cook them for 15 more minutes. Our next 15-minute timer went off, so I'm going to take these out of the oven one more time. Flip them one more time. So I have 1 cup of broth. Just gonna add and put it in. You want to make sure they're soft when you take them out, so it's probably going to take another 20 minutes. All right, so I ended up having to cook these for about 28 minutes after I put the cup of broth in. So 20 minutes definitely isn't long enough to get them nice and soft. If you want them browner on the top, you can put them on broil, but they look pretty good just the way they are. So I'm gonna take these out. And they look really beautiful. Now I just like to scrape all the brown bits because that's all the really good tasting stuff in here. All down in this sauce. Get my other, I don't know why I got my other, oh, there it is. I'm just gonna do a last little sprinkle of salt, because I like a lot of salt, even though I know it's really bad for you. And then some pepper. You can't go wrong with some fresh pepper on this plate. Okay, so I am going to plate this up. Get a potato and some cabbage. This is really good. I tried this a few different ways to make sure that I got it right. And if you just make sure you leave it until in the oven until everything is pretty tender. It just tastes better And if you prefer some stuff to have a little bit of crunch, you can take it out. The potatoes definitely cook faster than the carrots. And when you bake it this way, the cabbage holds up really nicely. It doesn't get all soggy and mushy like it does when you cook a corned beef and cabbage, put it all right in the pot, in the broth. This ends up having a really good texture. So, you taste it. It's kind of crazy that the cabbage ends up being my favorite part. Caramelized and perfect. So good. I highly recommend you trying this, even if you're not vegan, and just cooking some of your St. Patrick's Day vegetables with your corned beef in the oven and try it out. So thank you so much. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you like my video, and have a happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. Bye.